This year's flu season is shaping up to be a bad one. Much of the country endured a bitterly cold stretch, crowding people together indoors. The strain that has been most pervasive, H3N2, is nastier than most. And, we're being told, the vaccine this year is particularly ineffective. But what does that actually mean? This is Healthcare Triage News. The bit about the flu shot being ineffective is many wondering if they should still get the inoculation. If you watch no further, know this. The answer is yes, you should still get a flu shot. The flu season typically peaks December through February, but it can last until May, and it usually takes about 2 weeks for the shot's immunity to kick in. It's worth exploring what we mean by effectiveness when we're discussing the flu vaccine. The flu virus is unstable, and it changes a lot each season. This means that the immunity you gained from a shot a year ago doesn't work so well this time around. Each summer, scientists gather and try to make a best guess on which variants are going to be more common in the coming year. They look at data from countries like Australia, whose flu season comes before ours, and then they make the shot to match. This season, the flu vaccine is most protective against an H1N1, an H3N2, and a B Victoria lineage strain. Some vaccines also protect against a B Yamagata lineage strain. The scientists' guess wasn't bad, as it included H3N2, the strain making most of the news right now. Vaccines don't work as well against it in general because it tends to mutate more than other strains. It's also harder to produce a targeted vaccine for H3N2 than for other variants because of the way we produce the vaccine using eggs. Partially that has to do with the way it grows in the egg, and partially it has to do with the way that it changes as it grows. And all of that, along with other factors, makes for more infections and more severe illnesses. In any year, even when you're vaccinated, you can get the flu. The shot's about reducing your risk, not eliminating it. Still, even when the flu vaccine is less effective, it's a good bet. One reason is that less and more effective are relative terms. We need to be careful about those words and focus more on absolute risks. To the research. When a vaccine is considered effective, 1.2% of vaccinated people have the flu, while 3.9% of unvaccinated people had the flu. That's an absolute risk reduction at 2.7. That means that the number needed to treat is 37. Given the millions who are vulnerable to flu and the thousands of deaths each year, this is a big payoff in public health. In studies where the flu shot is considered ineffective, 1.1% of vaccinated people have the flu compared to 2.4% of unvaccinated people. The absolute risk reduction is 1.3 and the NNT is 77. Let's say that this year's flu vaccine is even worse than we think. Maybe the absolute risk reduction will be as low as 1%, making the NNT 100. That's still not that bad. Even at an NNT of 100, for every 100 people who get a flu shot, 1 fewer will get the flu. That's a pretty low NNT compared with tons of other treatments that health experts recommend every day. A Cochrane review published in 2016 showed that the NNT in children 6 years old or younger to prevent 1 flu case was just 6. An astonishing payoff in medical terms. It's even been shown to be effective in preventing death in children from flu-related causes. The negatives of a flu shot are almost non-existent, and significant side effects are very rare. Even in an ineffective year, the benefits greatly outweigh the harms. No vaccine is perfectly protective in any year, so it's important to practice good infection control. That includes regular hand washing, especially before eating, and limiting your contact with others when you or they are sick. But to minimize your chance of illness, yes, you should still get a flu shot this year and any year. We love to make videos about things that sometimes YouTube doesn't like to sell to advertisers. And we're fine with that because what we do is more important than the money we might make. That said, any support you can give us to help keep the show going helps to make it bigger and better. And one good way to do that is through a subscription service called patreon.com. You can go to patreon.com/healthcaretriage and give as little as $1 a month to help the show keep going. If you don't, that's fine. We're going to keep on making it anyway. We'd also appreciate if you subscribe to the show and maybe like the video if you liked it. That'd be great too. We'd especially like to thank our Surgeon Admiral Sam and our research associates Joe Sevitz and Carlos Hiergos. We also have some great merch you might like. We have mugs and posters and lunch boxes and other stuff, and you can check it all out at hctmerch.com. I also have my book. It's still available anywhere books are sold, the Bad Food Bible. I'd really appreciate it if you pick up a copy.